Hi, my name is Cheyenne and this is Lachlan, and today we're presenting our product on behalf of our team.
So, the overrepresentation of Indigenous youth in the criminal justice system is currently one of the leading criminological issues. Research suggests that Indigenous youth are sometimes deemed as suspicious and untrustworthy in policing structures, and therefore unfairly targeted by police. In addition, research suggests that this overrepresentation of Indigenous youth fosters distrust within the Indigenous community. Therefore, our Changing Ways program addresses the industry problem of the negative relationship between police and Indigenous youth.
Our Changing Ways program consists of a community-based event named Inala Cultural Day. This event brings together both police officers in Inala and Indigenous youth. Considering the power dynamic between the police and Indigenous Australians, the event has been planned in collaboration between Indigenous educators and the police. Inala Cultural Day will be held at the Oval next to the Gutana-Lui Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Cultural Studies Centre. It is important to note, however, that Inala Cultural Day will be advertised to all youth in the area. Various cultural activities will be included, such as a sports game, an Indigenous craft stall, which the Indigenous educators will run, and free food. We will also include a How Can We Be Better stall, where police officers will be present to gain feedback from the community. The Inala Police will also provide fun activities for the youth to participate in, such as having police recruit puppies present. The event will be held every 4 months, and the reasoning behind this can be discussed during question period.
As well as this, we have a clear advertising plan, both physical and digital, targeting key stakeholder areas such as schools and popular social media such as Snapchat and Facebook, which we'll discuss during questions. But you can see here on the PowerPoints the kind of examples of what those will look like.
So we have identified some key stakeholders as well, which includes the Inala Police Station, include the police liaison officers and the community engagement team, the Inala Wangara community, the schools close in proximity, which are listed here on the slide, educators of the Gutana-Lui Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Cultural Studies Centre, and the Inala PCYC. These stakeholders are of interest of Inala Cultural Day. To improve community relationships between the police and Indigenous youth, these stakeholders play a vital role. In order to mend this relationship, Indigenous organisations and members of the Inala Police must be invested.
Procedural justice can be used to explain the effectiveness of a community-based program between Indigenous Australians and the police in Inala as proposed. Our program follows a procedural justice framework in various ways, including planning the event in collaboration with Indigenous educators, ensures the event is culturally sensitive and responded to the unique experiences of Indigenous youth, including the How Can We Be Better stall to provide citizens with a voice, and finally, encouraging officers to participate in activities demonstrates unbiased attitudes and well-meaning intentions.
So we have identified particular effective aspects of community-based programs, and our project has considered and adopted such aspects, such as the community has ownership of and control over decision making, cultural central to the program, including understanding context and history, and local Indigenous staff work on the program. And two examples of effective programs that have these includes the Yundamu Old Peoples Program and Project Warway.
So evaluating effectiveness and funding. For evaluating effectiveness, we're using the How Can We Be Better stall, including a ballot style survey that you can see here on the PowerPoint. And for funding, we're looking at using Brisbane City Council grants up to $25,000 or so to fund the event, but we can go into further detail with that into the questions period.
So finally, why should you choose Inala Cultural Day? So our program aims to improve the relationship between Indigenous youth and the police through various means, including positively influencing police attitudes and use of discretion. Procedural justice research supports that this framework leads to fewer arrests, less use of force, and increased diversions. Having fewer Indigenous youth in custody is highly important. First, it reduces the number of Aboriginal deaths in custody. There were 146 Indigenous deaths in police custody over the 1991 to 2016 period, accounting for 20% of the total police custody deaths. It is vital that we reduce that statistic. Furthermore, formal contact with the criminal justice system has many negative consequences, including harming mental health conditions and increasing risk for future offending. Fewer youth in custody also significantly reduces costs associated. Currently, Indigenous incarceration is costing the economy $7.9 billion annually. Fewer arrests and less use of force is beneficial for the police also. Research supports that half of police injuries occur during operational tasks. Fewer arrests leads to fewer workplace injuries, sick and personal leave claims, and medical costs. Thank you.
Thank you.